Welcome to this video. We are still going to learn on Introduction to Computer. In our previous videos, we learned about what is a computer and the classifications of computer. In this video, we are going to learn about generations of electronic computer. It is important to learn that before the first electronic computer was invented, there were non-electronic or mechanical computers which were being used. The first computing machine which was mechanical was called abacus. Abacus was used in ancient China and Japan thousands of years before. This was BC. It was made up of a rectangular frame and a crossbar at the middle, and this was before a Scottish mathematician in 17th century called John Napier developed a machine called Napier's balls, which was used in multiplication and division. After that, an English mathematician called Charles Babbage developed a machine called analytical engine. This machine, the analytical engine, was regarded to as the forerunner of the modern computer, and thus making Charles Babbage to be referred to as the father of modern computers. It is important to note that the abacus, the Napier's balls, and the analytical engine were all non-electronic tools that would simplify arithmetic functions. Having defined or having explained about the non-electronic computers, we are going to learn about the generation of electronic computers. Now, the electronic computers have got 5 generations. The first generation is called the first generation computers, which was used from 1940s to 1950. The second generation computers was used between 1958 and 1964. The third generation of computers was used between 1964 and 1970. Fourth generation computers were used between 1970 to the year 2000. And from the year 2000, we have had fifth generation computers which we still use today. Those are the 5 generations of computers. We are going to describe and explain each and every one of them. The first generation computers were very large in physical size. They used vacuum tubes or thermionic valves. Since these computers were very big, they also consumed a lot of power. Vacuum tubes required a lot of power to maintain. Again, first generation computers emitted a lot of heat, and therefore there were constant breakdowns when they were in use. Examples of these first generation computers is the ENIAC. ENIAC is electronic numeric integrator and calculator. This is the example of first generation computer. Another example is IBM 650. Another example is the EDVAC. EDVAC is electronic discrete variable automatic computer. You can see how these computers were big. They consumed a lot of power. And having described the first generation of computers, let us now explain the second generation of computers which were used between the year 1958 and 1964. Second generation computers, we also refer them to as transistors. A transistor is a tiny solid-state electronic device. They were used to make second generation computers. Again, second generation computers produced less heat and consumed less power compared to the first generation. The speed of these second generation computers was faster, And again, comparing in size, they were smaller and they were more reliable than the first generation computers. Example of these second generation computers are IBM 1401/7070. Another example is UNIVAC 1107, and we have another example called Atlas Leo Mark III and Honeywell 200. These are the examples of second generation computers among so many other computers that are in second generation. The third generation of computer, which was used between 1964 and 1978, used integrated circuits. An integrated circuit consists of thousands and thousands of small transistors mounted on a semiconductor called silicon chip. The integrated circuits helped in improving the processing speed and the capacity of third generation computers. Comparing third generation computers to the second generation computers, you are going to find that they emitted less heat, they were smaller in size, and they were easier to program and to be maintained, comparing them to the second generation. Example of these third generation computers is the IBM 370-4300 and ICL 18000 series. These are the main examples of third generation computers among others. Having described the third generation of computer, let us look at the fourth generation of computer, which were used between 1970 and the year 2000. The difference between the fourth generation computers and the third generation computer is that the fourth generation computer used large-scale integrated circuits and the very small-scale integrated circuits. These circuits helped in improving the performance of the fourth generation computers. It means that the fourth generation computers were faster and efficient compared to the previous computer generations. Very small-scale integrated circuits were an improvement of silicon chip. These circuits were designed by compressing more tiny circuits and transistors into even smaller spaces. Examples of these fourth generation computers are IBM 370/4300, Honeywell DPS 88, and Barraf's 7700. We have seen that the fourth generation computers emitted low heat, they are small in size and easier to use and to maintain. The microprocessors were made from very large scale integrated circuits. Having described the fourth generation computers, let us describe the fifth generation of computers. These are the modern computers. These are the computers with very high processing power and speed. They are very small in size and they are increasingly becoming smaller. These computers have got integrated artificial intelligence, or the AI. The AI, these allow the computers to support complex programs that mimic human intelligence, and these computers are able to connect to the internet and to provide communication among the users. These computers also have got advanced graphics. They have got cloud computing and have got natural user interface. The modern computers examples include the laptops, the phones, robots, tablets. Those marks the fifth generation of computers, and that one marks the end of our lesson today. Thank you very much for watching from the beginning until the end. And if you have found this video helpful, press the subscribe button and the like button. Do not forget to comment down there at the comment section. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.